This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, we are back. We're back. You're in a hotel room or something?
I am. Yeah, sorry. It looks like I'm trapped in the at a hostage music video. Yeah, I'm in a hotel room.
Yeah, you just got to close the damn shade in the back so we don't get the light coming off of you. That's the thing. That way you look better.
Well, I was trying to make sure.
How's it? No, not that one doesn't cover the sun, Cam. What the hell's wrong with you? There you go. See?
This is why you're excellent. This is why you're excellent at on-camera producing. I opened up the shade because I thought it would give light.
Dude, you're the TV guy, not me. You're the TV guy, not me. Okay,
hey man,
I'm accidentally on TV here on YouTube torturing people with this face. You're a beautiful guy. You're a GQ guy. You look good. That's why you're on NFL Network. You know what I mean?
This is why you see the people behind the scenes get paid what they get paid because they tell me what to do, and I do it, and it's easy for me.
Okay, that's how I walk around in life. I just say, "Well, thank my wife. She did it."
Exactly. My wife, even when I shoot stuff from home, she'll tell me, "Hey, I don't like that angle. Switch it up." And guess what I do? I say, "Okay." And do it.
Of course. Because the frustrating part is the wife is always right, dude. It sucks. Right. So you're like, you try to fight it, but you'll never win that battle, bro. You'll just never win that battle. Nope. All right, Cam. I started the show by saying the quietness is a good thing. I think the fact that we're not hearing, well, he's getting ready to go to his next stop, this, that. It's been very, very quiet on both sides. Nobody's reporting anything right now. I kind of feel like there must be some progress being made behind the scenes with the Dolphins and Armstead.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been asking me what a Teron Armstead update. Trust me, if I had a significant update, I would that I could share, I would definitely share it. I know that he did get into Miami and met with the team yesterday. And that's what we know at this point. I was doing Jackson State's pro day yesterday, so I wasn't tapped in with a lot of people I know there, but I don't think there's anything that, as far as a deal done at this point. But like you said, you usually hear if he's moving on to another team, if nothing needed to be done. One thing that maybe makes his situation a little different than most free agents is there's a medical component there. So there's a lot more that needs to be checked on with him because he's had a lot of injuries. He's coming off a knee surgery that he just had surgery on. So he's still in the rehab portion. So a part of the meeting was to check on his medicals as well. So maybe that takes a little longer. Maybe that complicates things. But overall, I do think
it might complicate. By the way, Cam, explain also that maybe they still want him, but it could complicate the language that you're trying to through
because you got to look at it this way, right? Teron Armstead was top 5 free agent coming in, definitely the number 1 offensive lineman, right? So he's going to want game-changing money. But also on the other side of things, he's 31 years old with a notable injury history. So there's a balance of it. Although you're going to have to pay this guy a lot, how do you protect yourself? So I think that'll be important if the Dolphins get a deal done. You can't guarantee this dude 3-4 years without any type of contingency regarding his injuries, given his history. So I think that'll definitely be an element with this. I reported this early in the process. He had a desire to go back to New Orleans if Deshaun Watson got traded there. Obviously, he wasn't traded there. So then that opens the door. So he slowed down the market while he was waiting for Watson. And now essentially he has to restart that market because all the teams he told, hold on, are now restarting. So the Dolphins were at the front of that line. And obviously they made him believe that they're in enough, whether it's offer or whether interest, to come visit.
They wanted him more than any free agent.
Absolutely, they badly wanted him, and you don't typically bring a guy into a visit unless you've already told his agent what you're willing to pay him, even if it's not a formal offer, and the agent's like, okay, that's in the ballpark. So I think that they're very comfortable with what he would do for their offensive line. They're definitely comfortable giving up a significant amount of money. It's just, can they close the deal? So I'd expect some sort of decision today, tomorrow at the latest. I don't think this thing is going to linger much longer. But that's probably all I have for you at this point on Armstead.
Somebody in New Orleans told me that they were a little nervous about his knee, and they wanted him badly,
right?
But they really wanted to check that knee out. if anything. That was the only concern that they had, was to recheck that knee thoroughly to make sure that was, because a guy like that, even if it's a little shady, they'll take a chance with guys like that because they're character people. And so it's, sometimes there's a little leeway with certain guys. You know what I mean? If they've been character guys. If you're a shady dude that's been lazy and all that, and you're dealing with some kind of injury, they're going to go, nah, we're not. No, this guy doesn't take rehab serious like the game. They love the guys that take the rehab as serious as the game.
Right. And I know for a fact he's already started to try to do some on-field stuff. He started to do some pass sets recently. So he's trying to get back to where he is. Like, he's probably a guy who you wouldn't, if they signed him, you wouldn't see do a lot of OTAs or mini camp. But he's also 31 years old. You don't really need to see him. Like, you sign him because you put him on the left side of the offensive line and you don't worry about him. Right. If he's playing, you don't worry about him. He's locked up that side of the field. So I think that the knee is definitely something that's a concern for people. What's also interesting is that every medical staff views it in a different way. So, you remember you go through this with the Drew Brees situation, right? So somebody views Drew Brees' arm this way. Another team says it's good.
You know a little bit of the inside story on that one.
Right.
Aaron Brooks was a quarterback that Green Bay traded to New Orleans, and they had him for a couple of years. And Aaron was a very athletic quarterback, had a whip of an arm, wasn't the most accurate kid, but he was one of those guys that had his moments. In other words, he was decent. And he ended up having a shoulder injury that was not exactly like Brees, but similar to it. Right. And so the New Orleans doctors had experience with the shoulder, whereas the Miami doctors did not. Right. So in that Brees situation, when both were looking at it, both had different views, like you were talking about. And why? New Orleans had already gone through it with Aaron Brooks. Miami had never gone through it at all. So they had trepidations, whereas New Orleans said, no, we can work it. We did it with Aaron Brooks. We can do it with Drew Brees. And the rest is history.
Right. And the interesting part about that, I didn't know that story. So that's a good share, because I did not know the Aaron Brooks element of
I'm old.
Drew Brees.
I've been around a little while. So, yeah.
But mentioning that, we have New Orleans and Miami again, and there are other teams in the mix too, that want that left tackle position. I know Chicago is one of them. But I think it's interesting with New Orleans is this is a team that has drafted him, has had him for 10 years. So they know good or bad how they feel about that knee. So it could be a situation where it's the opposite, where New Orleans believes, hey, his knee is shot. Like, I'm not saying they do, but I'm saying it could be a situation where they say, hey, we don't think he has more than a year or two left, so we're only willing to go to this number. Whereas Miami may be taking a little bit more of a risk and saying, hey, we need an offensive lineman. We need a left tackle. We think this is the best guy. And we'll pay him maybe an extra year of guaranteed money, even though we're not sure, because we need to get this guy. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how it evolves. But the fact that he is visiting Miami, like we saw La'el Collins do with Cincinnati, means that they're the favorites at this point to land him unless something changes.
Yeah, I wasn't that, oh my God, you got to have La'el Collins. The knucklehead stuff scares the crap out.
Teron Armstead is significantly better of a player. Before you get to
and here, bro. I mean, come on. Let's just call it. He's not dodging drug tests, bro.
I get you. I try my best not to judge off field.
I get that. I get you.
I haven't seen his medical reports, and I haven't met the kid. So I don't want to tell you he's bad.
One guy dodged drug tests and the other guy didn't. Those are the facts. I can't. For whatever reason, okay, La'el Collins dodged multiple drug tests.
But I'll tell you this. You know who else dodged drug tests and failed drug tests? Von Miller. And I know Von Miller. Von Miller's not a bad guy. I didn't say, just because by the way, just because you failed or drug test doesn't mean you're a bad guy. Right.
Just means
or even a trouble guy. Sometimes when you're younger, you make mistakes.
Things.
Yeah. So
I'm not saying bad guy. I said knucklehead.
Yeah.
I didn't say bad guy. I said knucklehead. Okay. There's a difference. Michael Beasley was a knucklehead. Never a bad guy.
Right.
A knucklehead. That's all. Smoked a little too much weed, got himself in a little too much trouble, whatever. But he wasn't a bad dude. He just did knuckleheaded things.
By the way, Michael Beasley did an interview. I'm not sure if you saw it on the Pivot podcast with Ryan Clark and Shannon Crowder and Fred Taylor. that was really good. He kind of shared the insight of what his life has been after basketball. And it sounds like he's in a rough place, which, a lot of times we see the playing career and you see, like you said, some of his troubles, him dealing with drugs, him not playing well. And you're like, oh man, this dude's, just discard him. But you don't realize just kind of what a guy is dealing with depression wise after life. So I thought that was
Lamar Odom, dude. Lamar Odom. Great guy.
Right.
Super cool guy.
But the
monsters in there.
True. But the interesting part I thought about the Beasley interview is because we see like Lamar Odom and we see like Delonte West. You see him when they hit rock bottom and where that you could visually see the elements of drugs impacting them. The guys I worry about even more are the guys who are quiet that you don't hear about, that just disappear from the game, who are busts and just disappear for like 5 years, and all of a sudden you get a notification that something bad happened to them.
Well, that's Junior Seau, my brother. That's Junior Seau.
So that to me is the scariest part, because a lot of times we think so much of who's now that you forget about the guys who didn't make an impact in the league. Think
about Junior Seau. He's a Hall of Famer that was a leader on a team, and then obviously had these demons. Right. And he retires, and a couple years later, he kills himself, dude. I mean, and this is not a guy that had to deal with, I failed in the league and I was a bust. And, Jamarcus Russell, like, he has to live with that for the rest of his life, that he was a bust. Junior Seau is a decorated player, a guy that, my God, if you're a linebacker, you looked up to that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And people did. I remember.
Shows you the demons, man, sometimes because of the game, man.
Speaking of Junior Seau, it just brought up a memory to my mind. Kenny Stills, when he used to be a Dolphin, I remember having a conversation with him one day, and he said, "You know what? Everybody has role models. Everybody has like all these big name role models. A lot of times they're like the star of their position." He was like, "My role model was Junior Seau because he grew up in the same town I did." He was like, "It wasn't for anything that he was a player." He said he used to come around the neighborhood all the time and hang out with us regular kids. And he wasn't big time, and he was just a guy of the people, a neighborhood guy. And he was like, I hope that one day I'm like Junior Seau for my community. And it was like, he is. And so you think about the impact that people have, but you also don't know what they're going through personally. So like Junior was giving all this out so that these people were viewing him as their role model, like Kenny, I'm sure, but also guys who didn't make it to the league. And at the same time, he's dealing with his own demons and struggling with this. And it's a lesson. And I don't know if you're a Christian or you're a God-believing person, but it's also
I am. Yeah.
It's a lesson in the Bible about like you can't pour from your cup when you can't pour from your cup when you're empty. So like the whole idea of you're pouring, and then you're empty. You have nothing inside of you because you're trying to give so much to everybody else. So a lot of those lessons come up when I hear this stuff. So we kind of went sidetracking here, but
no, it's good stuff, man.
Thought about that a lot when you're talking about Michael Beasley and Junior Seau and some of these guys.
Yeah, no, it's crazy with some of the stuff that they have to go through overall. All right, Cham, everything else looks like it's on hold until this move is either happens or doesn't happen, right? That's kind of what it seems like right now.
Yeah, I'd say Teron Armstead, that move will probably define how people view the Dolphins off season, fair or not. I think that they've made a lot of moves. I think they've signed like 15 players.
Yeah.
They got better at running back. They got faster. They added some players, the receiver, they added Connor Williams. They added some good pieces, but they haven't added a great piece yet, right? So this would be their marquee signing. So I think a lot of people are waiting for this. I don't know if the Dolphins will be super active beyond this. If they do not get Armstead, I do still think they'll get a tackle, but it's probably actually will be somebody on the third tier market, a guy who's more of a veteran stopgap. Somebody who's probably a year or two fills in at right tackle, and you still need to eventually get a long-term replacement. So I still think they end up getting 2 new starters. It's just whether it's high end on Teron Armstead or if it's like a low end guy like a Darrell Williams who started for Buffalo at right tackle the last couple of years.
So here's, how screwed up it is. Like right now, I'll give them a C+, let's say, because I thought they filled a lot of needs that they had, and their scheme, they're filling also part of the things that they need for their scheme. So I like it. But if they get Teron Armstead, it goes all the way to an A for me. I'll skip B and everything.
Right.
Why? Because it's not just like what you said of the star. that you really add to start, but you now solve the left side of your line.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's an enormous, because I think it opens the door for Zion at 29.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to go, all right, we're going to really just solidify the crap out of this line. And then Dieter becomes your backup swing center guard, that kind of stuff. And that's what I think Austin Jackson becomes, your swing tackle, that kind of. Some of these guys then become, your maybe a Solomon Kinley who's losing a lot of weight now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he sees what's coming. He sees the scheme. He's going to have to be able to move a little bit more. Solomon understands that. So somebody reached Solomon, and credit to Solomon, by the way. I when I saw that story, I said, that's an intelligent young man.
Oh, yes. Yes. You got to fit.
Yeah, exactly what's going on. So I almost feel like the signing of Teron Armstead really becomes a domino effect to really fixing a problem that's been here for 20 years, dude.
Absolutely. I think we came into the offseason knowing that the offensive line was the biggest priority, right? And so let's paint this picture like you just said. Let's just say the Dolphins do close the deal. They sign Teron Armstead. You put Teron Armstead at left tackle. Connor Williams is most likely going to play left guard in that situation. Let's go in your situation where it's a rookie, maybe Zion Johnson at center. He competes with Dieter, most likely beats him out. He's your center, Robert Hunt's your right guard. And then you probably have a competition between Liam and Austin Jackson for that right tackle spot. Probably, you'd imagine Eichenberg wins that job, but they're both first or second round picks. So you're going to give them a chance. And whoever has the better camp is your starting right tackle. The other is your swing tackle for your left or right. And like you said, you got Dieter, who probably loses that job if it's a high enough rookie as your swing guard.
And he can swing.
And then you have depth with the Kinley, and you got 8 deep right there where you feel a lot better. I don't know if this is this doesn't jump to a top end offensive line, but you're not the worst offensive line in football. You probably become
at least you have an offensive line that you can work with. At least you have something that your quarterback can work with now.
At minimum, you jump for the 32nd offensive line to probably middle of the pack. At minimum, I'd imagine. And then you're a team that can run the ball a lot better, a lot effectively, and you can protect Tua, which I believe is your goal. And then everything else ideally opens up, and you start to see what Tua can do. You can start to see what the running back can do with the speed. So I think that would be a successful offseason. The problem is the AFC just got a lot better. So, you don't know if it's enough, but I do think you do that, and your offense, which was your Achilles heel, at least gets a really good chance to be average and maybe more.
I agree. All right. So what do you got today? Animal Kingdom? Where are you going?
I'm in Jackson, Mississippi, man. There are no amusement parks.
Oh, what are you doing in Jackson? Is this family stuff?
Potholes. Actually was here for Jackson State's pro day yesterday. So Dion Sanders down here, he had some guys. So we sent some cameras out here and gave them some love, some exposure. Did an interview with Dion Sanders for Network. As always, full of energy. Did he show you his gnarly foot now? He didn't, but he's got a lip. He's walking now. He is walking. He's got 2 less toes. He's got 8 toes. But he's walking. He said he's feel good. He's got a scooter, so he doesn't walk far, but he got a nice limp. So he didn't take his shoes off. That was a no-go. But he definitely is moving around better than I thought he was going to move around. But he's still full of energy, still himself. So yeah, I'm here for I'm actually driving out probably in about an hour or two. I'm going to head to Oxford for University of Mississippi's pro day. So I'm going to go see Matt Corral and some of those guys down there for their pro day.
By the way, how's his run for stadium going? Because I know they're trying to build Jackson State a new stadium. So what
they worked on it. He's there. I think it's still in progress. Nothing's set yet, but they've been raising a lot of money. Boosters have been sending a lot of money, and they've been filling up their stadium as is. So they're getting a lot of money from attendance. I think mostly SWAC schools are averaging about 10,000 fans per game. He had 40,000 fans in the stadium last year, averaging on a game. So they're making a lot of money in. So nothing's set, but I think they're trending towards that way. So
that'll be an amazing accomplishment.
And he's got some talent coming in. We saw Travis Hunter. He got the #1 overall recruit, and Travis Hunter coming out this past year he was going to go to Florida State, got him to come to Jackson State. He got his son, Shador, who's a quarterback who's supposed to be really good. He was a freshman this past year. I talked to him yesterday. He said he's coming out in 2 years. He's like, I'm not doing a senior deal. I'm coming out early. I'm gonna be a first-round pick. So he already has that in his mind. It's been a long time since the HBCU had a first-round pick as a quarterback position. So he could be done. I think Teron Armstead actually might be one of the last highly drafted HBCU kids that high. So Darius Leonard also was very high too. So it doesn't happen very often, but they're trying to build something here at Jackson State.
I hope whatever they call a stadium, get a sponsor, obviously, because you're going to make some money.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever the name of the stadium is, but it's on Walter Payton Field, bro. Please.
Yeah. Please. They already got their athletic facility is Walter Payton, but you can't have enough things named after one of the best running backs of all time. Some people would say
bro.
That. So I'd name everything.
Sweetness Field.
Yep.
You know, something like that. You know what I mean? You know, Sweetness Field. Dion would love that, called Sweetness Field.
Right.
That would be awesome right there. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Cameron Wolfe and catch his work there at the NFL Network. And let's see if this Teron Armstead stuff ends today in this soap opera here. And Miami adds him. Cam, thanks for taking some time. Safe travels, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it. There you go. Cameron Wolfe. We have unleashed the Wolf Pack.